to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's D1? Simple, smart ako.
Fit Fuse, Our Fuse, Sport Fuse. Hindi po yan ang mga sasakyan ha, at hindi rin po yan mga restaurant. Yan po ang Olympic motto na ang ibig sabihin po ay faster, higher, stronger. Bakit po binanggit yan? Well, mga kapatid, isang linggo na lang po. Isang linggo na lang bago magbukas ang naantala at matagal na nating inaabangang Tokyo Olympics. At of course, ang ating pinaka-asam-asam na elusive gold medal sa Olympics. At yan po ang ating pag-uusapan ngayong araw po ng Sabado sa inyong paboritong kasama sa almusal, ang Power and Play. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat mga kapatid. Nagbabalik po kami dito sa Signal Experience Lounge sa TV5 Media Center. Ako po si Noli Iyala at ito po ang Power and Play. Atid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement, Big Boss at Tatag, Big Boss at Tibay, at ng Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum, powered by Smart. Naku, talaga namang excited na ba kayo? Ha? 1 week to go, mga kapatid. Ha? Isang linggo at mahigit isang taon din tayong naantala. Finally, ito na po. Ha? Nagdadatingan na ang mga atleta sa Tokyo at mamaya po ating pag-uusapan ang parating na Tokyo Olympics na gaganapin next Saturday ang opening ceremonies, although may mga laro na po yan 2 days before. I understand softball, baseball, soccer magsisimula na, pero ang opening po ay sa Sabado. At mamaya po makakausap natin mismo ang ating chef de mission mula sa Tokyo kung saan naroon na siya, si Mr. Mariano Nonong Araneta. Yan po ang ating makakasama mamaya. Well, pinag-uusapan ang opening. Of course, ang Pilipinas po, dahan-dahan na rin nagbubukas ang mga laro. And of course, kahapon, nagsimula na ang inyong paboritong PBA. Mamaya po, hihimayin din natin ang mga kaganapan sa PBA kasama si Coach Ryan Gregorio at ang ating kaibigang veteran analyst si Dominic Uy. At kasama na rin na mga plano ng PBA, of course, ang 3x3. At mamaya po, isang makakalaro sa 3x3. Ngunit hindi makalaro sa PBA pero inaabangan din po ninyo mga fans si Jason Brickman, ang ating pong makakapanayam mamaya-maya din. Pero siyempre, sa pagsisimula ng ating palatuntunan tuwing Sabado, siyempre himayin muna natin ang mga kaganapan sa palakasan sa ating sports weekly highlights. Una sa lahat, Miyerkules, ang ating Ateneo High School alumnus na si Francis Lebron Lopez lilipad pa Amerika para maglaro ng professional basketball. Sasali si Lopez sa Overtime Elite, isang bagong liga na nagbibigay ng alternative path papunta sa NBA. Huwebes, pinalitan ng boxer na si Yumir Marshall ang pole vaulter na si EJ Obiena sa pagiging flag bearer para sa Tokyo Olympics. Ito ay dahil sa conflict ng schedule ni Obiena, kaya naman hindi na niya magagampanan ang pagiging flag bearer. Makakasama ni Marshall ang judoka na si Kiyomi Watanabe sa pagbitbit ng watawat ng Pilipinas sa opening ceremony ng Olympics. Huwebes din at usapang Olympics pa rin, pero yun lang medyo bad news. Isang linggo bago ang Olimpiada, umabot na po sa higit 1,300 ang bagong kaso ng COVID-19 sa Tokyo. Ito ang pinakamataas na bilang ng new cases sa nakaraang 6 na buwan sa Japan. Kaya naman patuloy na nakaalerto ang mga opisyal doon para makasigurong ligtas ang locals, pati na rin ang mga Olympians. Webes din, NBA Finals naman, tinabla ng Milwaukee Bucks ang kanilang serye kontra Phoenix Suns. Clutch performances ang ipinamalas ni Chris Middleton at Giannis Antetokounmpo para ipanalo ang Game 4, 109-103. At kahapon, Biyernes, nagsimula na ang PBA. Hindi pinaporma ng Alaska Aces ang Blackwater Bossing sa unang laro, 103-77. Sa ikalawang laro, nasungkit ng Rain or Shine kontra NX Road Warriors ang panalo 83-82. At sa third game ng triple header, tinambakan ng Meralco Bolts ang Northport Batang Pier 85-63. Yan po ang mga kaganapan sa ating sports weekly highlights. Talaga namang tuloy-tuloy po nating tinututukan ang iba't ibang larangan ng palakasan. Kasama na po dyan ang mga lumalahok po doon sa the Open Championship na ginaganap ngayon po sa Scotland, yung sa Royal St. George. At of course, yan po ang huling major. Sana lalaro dyan si Juvic Pagunsan, pero si Juvic po ay nag-decide na maghanda na lamang para sa Olimpiada. Tinututukan din of course natin ang pagbubukas. Mamaya po na volleyball action, lalong-lalo na sa kababaihan. Nako, bukas na po mamaya ang PVL. Yan po ay gaganapin sa Ilocos Norte, doon po sa katabing bayan ng Bacana o Bacara. Medyo may konti silang inaayos sa lawag. Medyo nagkaroon yata ng konting problema doon at itinaas ng bahagya ang kanilang quarantine status. Kaya po inilipat muna ang mga laro sa Bacara. Tututukan po natin yan. Yan pong PVL, 3 laban mamaya. PLDT Cherry Tigo, yung pong Creamline Santa Lucia at ang Signal versus Perlas. Again, mapapanood po yan dito lamang sa Signal TV. Of course, mga kapatid, tuwing tayo nagsisimula, ating pong pinupulsuhan ang ating mga tagapakinig at mga nanonood. At ngayong araw pong ito, babalikan natin ang Olimpiada. Dahil yan po ang mainit na mainit nating inaabangan. Tayo umaasa na tayo makakakuha finally ng ating elusive gold medal. Kaya po, sa dami-dami ng ating atleta at delegado, doon po sa Tokyo Olympics ngayong taon na ito na magsisimula sa Sabado, sino ang inyong tinututukan o tututukan sa pagdating ng Olympics? Ulitin ko po yan, sa dinami-dami po ng ating mga atleta at delegado sa Team Philippines, sino po ang inyong tinututukan sa darating na Olympics? Kung gusto niyo po makipagtalakayan sa amin, magbigay lamang ng inyong komentaryo sa pamamagitan ng aming hotline 0908-208-0629. Again, 0908-208-0629 o di kaya ay mag-post sa aming Facebook page, Power and Play with Noli Iyala, o di kaya sa Facebook page po ng 1PH o ng Radyo 5. At mamaya-maya babasahin ko po yung mga komentaryo ninyo. Ako ang dami kong inaabangan dyan. I think si Kaloy Yulo ay malaki ang tsansang makakuha ng gintong medalya, lalong-lalo na sa floor exercises. I also like the chances of our golfers, Yuka Saso, Bianca Pagdanganan at Jubic Pagunsan. And of course, ang ating pong mga boksingero, Nesty Petesio, Irish Magno, Carlo Paalam, Yumir Marshall. Naku, ang dami po yan. EJ Obiena, ang ating mga swimmer, ang ating pong mga weightlifter, Heidelin Diaz na naghahangad ng kanyang 2 medalya sa Olimpiada. Napakarami po yan. Kaya wag po tayong bibitaw at ipagdasal po natin ang ating mga kababayang atleta na lalaban para sa bayan sa Tokyo Olympics. Alright mga kapatid, tuloy-tuloy po tayo dito sa Power and Play. And of course, sa pagsisimula po ng ating palatuntunan, siyempre ipapasok natin ang ating paboritong segment, ang Fast Take, kung saan ang opinion po ng ating magigiting at magagaling na kapatid sa hanap buhay, ang ating sports media, ang inyo pong matututukan. At ngayong araw pong ito tayo maswerte na makakasama natin ang magagaling at mga batang-bata pero talaga namang napakalalim ang pag-iisip na ating kasama po sa sports media, si Randolph Leongson ng Spin.ph at si Philip Mattel ng ESPN5. Magandang umaga, gentlemen. Maraming salamat sa inyong pagsama sa amin ngayong umaga sa Power and Play.
Magandang umaga, Kumnoli. Thank you for the opportunity for having us.
Magandang umaga ko. Agang gising, kaya simulan natin ng maganda to.
Yan, syempre, alam mo, ang dami na kasi nagbubukas ng mga laro. Kaya alam ko kayo, napapagod na kayo, napupuyat na kayo, tuloy-tuloy. Lalong-lalo na this weekend, ang daming nagbubukas. Let me ask you first siguro, Dolph, itong pagbubukas ng sports, sa tingin nyo ba gaano kalaking impact nito para sa ating mga sports fans, sa ating bansa? And do you think amateur sports is far behind?
Ako feeling ko hindi na ganun kalayo eh. Ang magandang bagay lang dito, karamihan sa atin, bakunado na. Like ako, nakuha ko na yung second dose ko this past week. So kumbaga, unti-unti, we're returning to normalcy and we're hoping na kumbaga in the next few months, in the next few weeks, ma-curb na natin at mapapababa na natin ultimately itong COVID-19 para lang din makabalik na rin tayo yung sigla ng sports sa atin.
Totoo yan. Ako, kakakuha ko rin din yung aking second job at talagang ating hinihikayat ang ating mga tagapakinig at tagapanood. Kunin niyo po yan. Dahil bagamat ito ay sinasabi ng iba, hindi naman daw kailangan. Alam niyo po, wala namang masama kung kunin ninyo. Di ba? Kahit pa paano, it gives you that sense of calmness at peace of mind. Philip, malaki ang insentibo na ngayon ay makukuha ng mga ating mga atleta. Alam ko tinututukan mong Olympics na ang ating mga atleta ngayon ay binigyan ng incentive of as much as 30 million pesos for a gold medal. How big is that for our athletes, Philip, na ngayon ay lalahok sa Tokyo Olympics?
Sa tingin ko, Kumnoli, napakalaking bagay na magkaroon ng at least 30 million pesos na incentive para sa gold medal, at least 15 million sa silver, and at least 6 million sa bronze. Dahil parang nararamdaman nila na ina-appreciate ng Pilipinas at ng mga private citizens nito ang effort na binibigay nila upang mabigyan ng karangalan ng ating bansa. Sa tingin ko, ang suporta rin ng mga kababayan natin ay importante sa pagbibigay ng moral booster sa kanila, at sa tingin ko talaga ay mawawakasan na ang ating gold medal drought ngayong taon sa Tokyo.
Nakakatuwang marinig yan mula sa iyo, Philip. Pero alam mo ako, gentlemen, maganda yung 30 million na binigay ng pamahalaan ni Mr. Pangilinan at ni Mr. Ang para sa ating mga atleta. Talaga naman kung ako ang isang atleta, I'm set for life, manalo lang ako ng ginto para sa ating bayan. Pero hindi kaya maganda rin na yung bang incentive ay ibigay na ng simula? Kahit papaano, meron nang maibigay para hindi lang yun sa pagkapanalo, pero yung pagtungtong at yung kanyang pagsisikap, lumaban. Hindi kaya pwedeng ganon, Dolph, ang pwede nating gawing adjustment dito sa incentives na ito?
Maganda sana kung lahat ng, kumbaga yung buong NSA makikinabang kasi kumbaga, lalo na sa disinwebing nakaabot sa Olympics, once in a lifetime yan, hindi nakaabot ka doon. Hindi ka dali na makapasok sa Olympics eh. So, kumbaga, parang they enough, ngayon pa lang, they deserve rewards in my book. And kumbaga, pag naipakita natin yung ganyang suporta natin sa kanila, kumbaga, parang yan makakadagdag ng inspiration sa kanila to strive harder and to really attain that goal.
Alright. Well, alam natin na kahit papano, with or without yan, ang ating mga atleta naman, andyan ang puso para lumaban para sa ating bayan. Isang malaking karangalan ang gintong medalya. Kahit na anong kulay yan, kahit anong klaseng medalya, manalo ka lang dyan, nasa history books ka na. And of course, it's a big honor for you and your family. Alright, mga kapatid, ready na tayo sa fast take. Hindi naman kayo bago na dito sa segment na to. Again, bato-bato sa langit, tamaan, huwag magagalit, walang mali, walang tama sa fast take. Ito ang ating unang issue para sa umagang ito. Usapang NBA. Alam naman natin na itabla na ng Milwaukee Bucks ang serye na to. 2-2 and bukas ang Game 5, ang pivotal Game 5. Kaya ang tanong, ano ang dapat gawin ng parehong koponan para makuha ang kampyonato? I will begin with you, Philip. 1 minute. Go.
Nakabalik na nga ang Milwaukee Bucks mula sa 0-2 hole dahil nagkaroon ng tulong si Giannis Antetokounmpo para magpatuloy itong momentum ng Eastern Conference Champions. Dapat siguro ay manatili ang hot shooting ni Chris Middleton at ang scoring ni Drew Holiday. Para naman sa Western Conference Champion Phoenix Suns, dapat ay matutong maging maingat si DeAndre Ayton dahil wala na siya karelyebo sa loob pagkawala ni backup center Dario Saric. Sa nakaraang dalawang laro ay foul trouble lang yan. Siyempre at hindi masyadong nakatulong sa Suns. Napaisa na maging maayos ang laro ni Chris Paul na nag-miss ko na naglaho ng Game 4. Ang ilang mga desisyon niya ay medyo masama at ito ay nakatulong sa pagtulong ng pagkalamang ng Milwaukee noong fourth quarter. Para naman sa parehong koponan, wala na sanang ma-injure dahil maganda ang pinapakita ng dalawang team na ito ngayong 2021 NBA Finals.
Maganda yung huli mo sinabi, Philip. Yan ang ating dinadalangin na wala ng injury. Dahil itong postseason has been about injuries. And sana nga itong finals na to, at least yung last 3 games, ay talagang kumpleto ang roster para malaman natin kung sino ang tunay na hari. Dolph, same question na ano ang pwedeng gawin o dapat gawin ng dalawang koponan para makuha ang kampyonato ng NBA. 1 minute. Go, Dolph.
As much as I agree with Philip, I think it all boils down to 2 words. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Sa modernang Bucks, kaya nilang hayaan na magpatuloy ni Giannis yung kanyang magandang ginagawa for the past 4 games, yung pagiging aggressive niya. Kaya talaga yung magiging linchpin nung Milwaukee. Nasa kanya ang susi kung magtatagumpay sila o makukuha nila yung kampyonato o hindi. Sa parte naman ng Phoenix, I would like to see ni Kyle Bridges, ito sila Jay Crowder, to have that kind of resistance sa konti. Pahirapan nila ng konti itong si Giannis. Dahil as much as nakakagawa yung supporting cast ng Milwaukee, lahat pa rin yan nakadepende dun sa ilalaro nitong si Giannis Antetokounmpo. Kumbaga sa parte ng Phoenix, alam natin kung ano yung makukuha natin kay Chris Paul, kay Devin Booker. Pero yung depensa talaga, yun yung gusto kong makita sa parte ni Coach Monty Williams at ng Phoenix Suns para makuha nila yung NBA championship.
Excellent point, Randolph. Ako, at the very beginning, I really thought lamang ang Milwaukee Bucks, although home court advantage ng Phoenix, only because of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Hindi ko makita kung sino ang babantay kay Giannis Antetokounmpo sa Phoenix Suns. Pero ginamit ng Suns ang bilis. And in the first 2 games, yan ang namayani. Pero ngayon, ang problema, mukhang nabigyan na ng solusyon ng Bucks. So it's now time for Phoenix to make the adjustment. Home court advantage bukas, magkakaalaman. And who will win Game 3 has always been traditionally the winner, or Game 5 is usually the winner on a 2-2 series tie. All right, let's go to our second fast take issue ng umaga. Lipat tayo ng PBA. Kabubukas lamang ng PBA kahapon. Triple header, beautiful games, although medyo may kulang pa dahil alam naman natin may kalawang pa itong mga koponan na to. So ang tanong, sa pagbabalik muli ng PBA, ano ang inyong under-the-radar prediction para sa 46th season ng PBA? Randolph, I'll begin with you. 1 minute, go!
Magdo-double down ako dun sa huling sinabi ko nung huling nag-guest ako sa inyo. I still believe that Calvin Abueva is bound to win the BTC Award dito sa kanyang first conference with Magnolia. Marami nagsasabi na TNT, Ginebra, yan yung mga favorites mag-champion. And even San Miguel with the return of nitong si Junmar Fajardo. But alam nyo, kahit na sinasabing middle round team, itong Magnolia, I believe Calvin has the capacity to really be that missing piece na hinahanap itong Magnolia Hotshots. And iba yung ibinibigay na energy ni Calvin Abueva. Nakita natin yan sa Phoenix, nakita natin yan sa Alaska. And especially with the hole left by Mark Pingris, kumbaga yung emotional leadership, ito yung kailangan ng Magnolia to fit doon sa current crop nila na meron silang Poli, meron silang Mark Baroka, meron silang Ian Tanggalang. And we've seen Calvin help teams reach the pinnacle. So, yan yung masasabi kong underrated pick ko this 2020 Philippine Cup.
Wow! Calvin Abueva. Well, under the radar talaga yan, Randolph, because usually ang tinitingnan mo magiging BPC ay mga magagaling umiscore. CJ Perez, Junmar Fajardo, Stanley Pringle. Yan ang mga talagang inaintay mo. But Calvin Abueva, a defensive specialist and a energy bunny, ibang klase yan. Alright, same question, Philip. Para sa iyo, sa pagsisimula ng PBA, ano ang under-the-radar prediction mo para sa 46th season ng PBA? 1 minute, Philip, go!
Itong aking sasabihin, Komnoli, ay hot take dahil sa aking palagay, itong prediction nito ay malayo-malayo sa sinasabi ng karamihan. Bakit? Dahil sa tingin ko ay hindi Ginebra, San Miguel or Magnolia ang magcha-champion, kundi ang TNT Tropang Giga. Palagay ko mababalik ni Chot Reyes ang magic na nailatag niya sa tropang Texters noong early 2000s. Babalik na naman sa tuktok ng PBA ang TNT na hindi pa nito nagagawa mula 2015. Andyan si RR Pugoy, Jason Castro, Poy Eram at Troy Rosario na naging bata na ni Coach Chot sa Gilas, Pilipinas. Madadagdagan pa sila ng isang Mikey Williams na sinasabing explosive scorer at swak na swak sa dribble drive offense ng TNT. Kung sino man ang makakalaban ng TNT, ay mangingibabaw ang winning mentality ni Coach Chot na nagpasigla muli ng Gilas, Pilipinas sa international basketball scene. Ang puso para mapataob ang kung sino mang makakalaban nila ngayong 2021 PBA Philippine Cup Finals.
Bigat, mabigat yan ha, yung prediction na yan. Talk and text ang para kay Philip ang mananalo ng Philippine Cup. Well, hindi naman yan imposible. Alam natin ang kapasidad ni Coach Chot Reyes. Ako base lamang kahapon sa unang laro, ang aking under the radar prediction, Meralco ang papasok sa finals at maaaring magkampiyon. Meralco looked really good yesterday. Mukhang buong buo ang kanilang koponan sa pagkakakuha kay Mac Bello and of course yung health ngayon ni Raymond Almazan, ni Chris Newsam at yung buong koponan na yon. I like the team Meralco, although hindi pa natin nakikita of course ang Ginebra, San Miguel at Magnolia and of course the other teams. Joshua Monzon ng Terra Firma, tingnan natin kung ano mangyayari dyan, but it obviously will be an exciting 46th season para sa PBA. Alright, let's go to our third and final take ng umaga. Ito ay tungkol sa isa na namang Pinoy na nagbabalak pumunta sa Amerika. Si Francis Lebron Lopez, ang Ateneo High Schooler, ay ngayon patungo na sa Overtime Elite, isang upstart league na itinuturing na alternative pa patungo sa NBA. Kaya ang tanong, ano ang inyong reaksyon sa career move na ito ni Lebron Lopez? Randolph, I'll begin with you. 1 minute, go!
Tom, tulad nga nung mga headlines sa YouTube na kumbaga naging meme father na yung move ni Lebron Lopez sa Overtime Elite, tunay na ginulat tayo lahat. Pero sa akin, gusto ko yung naging move ni Lebron, yung talagang gusto niyang mag-develop, not just a player, hindi imposible na maging mapunta siya dun sa lugar na kinatatayuan ni Kay Soto na gusto niyang sumubok sa NBA. Marami tayong coaches at scouts na nakausap na sinasabi medyo hilaw pa, medyo kulang pa. Pero yun nga yung punto ng pagpunta niya sa Overtime League. He's putting himself in a position na magko-compete siya with better players, with more athletic players, kung saan, kumbaga, iron sharpens iron. And ako, as much as sinasabi nila na kulang pa, I see it as a good move para sa development nitong si Lebron Lopez kung talagang gusto niya na gumalik at maging player sa NBA in the long run. Wala namang imposible at hayaan natin siyang mangarap.
Very good. Maganda yun. Libre naman ang mangarap, di ba? At of course, in the end, hopefully, Philippine basketball ang mananalo. Same question, Philip. Ano ang reaction mo sa career move ni Lebron Lopez na pumunta sa Amerika para ipagpatuloy ang kanyang career. 1 minute, Philip. Go!
I have to agree, Com Noli, ang pinakang malaking mananalo dito sa pagsali ni Lebron Lopez sa Overtime Elite ay walang iba kundi ang Pilipinas. Dahil may isa na naman tayong player na kinilala ng ibang bansa dahil sa kanyang aking potential. Susunod si Lebron sa yapak ni Ferdy Ravena, Kai Soto at Gomez de Leano brothers sa pag-propagate ng Pinoy brand of basketball. Di naman mapipili si Lebron kung wala siyang potential. At dahil dito ay makakapagsweldo na siya ng malaki-laking amount at just 18 years old. There's nowhere to go but up para sa high flyer na ito, and we could only wish him nothing but success. May isa na namang tayong player na may realistic chance na makaapak sa NBA, isang pangarap na hindi pa natin natutupad hanggang ngayon. Ito na rin ang pagkakataon ng Pinoy na mag-excel internationally kahit saan mang sport, tulad ng sana ay pagkapanalo ng gold medal natin sa Olympics na hopefully sa tingin ko ay magagawa na natin ngayong taon sa Tokyo.
Wow, parang dikit-dikit na magandang balita mula kay Philip dyan. Ha? Isipin mo, isang Pilipino na pwedeng pumasok ng NBA. Isa lang sa akin ang natalo dito, Ateneo. Ateneo High School. Nawalan sila ng Lebron Lopez, but I'm sure the Ateneans wouldn't mind kung yan ang magiging contribution natin sa Philippine basketball. Philip Patel, Randolph Leongson, maraming salamat ulit sa inyong matatapang na takes at napaka-interesting na mga opinion. Good luck, and let's all enjoy sports na ngayon ay bukas na para sa mga Pinoy.
Maraming salamat, Com. Ingat po.
Thank you po, Com. Ingat.
Mga kaibigan ng ating mga kapatid sa hanap buhay, si Randolph Leongson ng Spin.ph at si Philip Patel ng ESPN5. Nakita niyo naman ang mga opinion niya na ang gigiting, ang titigas, hindi walang kinikilingan, talagang kung ano yung nararamdaman nila, yun ang kanilang sinasabi. Alright mga kaibigan, tuloy-tuloy po tayo sa Power and Play ngayong Sabado ng umaga. Sa amin pong pagbabalik ang ating makakausap, ang chef de mission ng Philippine Olympic Team sa Tokyo Olympics, si Mr. Mariano Nonong Araneta. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loom.
Morning.
Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know?
Tayo ngayon.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's D1? Simple, smart ako.
Babalik po ang Power and Play. Hatid din ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loom. Batiin lamang si kasamang Jerry Baha At si Deo Macalma ng isang happy birthday. Mga kaibigan natin yan ha. Jerry Baha at Deo Macalma, happy birthday mula sa Power and Play. Alright mga kaibigan, before we go to our next guest, balikan muna natin ang some of the best moments in sports history. July 13, 1966, so 55 years ago, nang iwan ni National Football League star Jim Brown ang sports para sa pelikula. Aba, may 2 taon pang natitira sa kontrata ni Brown sa Cleveland Browns ng NFL pero hindi na niya ito tinapos para tuluyan ng mag-focus sa kanyang Hollywood career. Ikinagulat ng marami ang hakbang na ito ni Brown dahil hindi lang siya basta-bastang NFL player, kundi isang 3-time most valuable player. Idagdag mo pa na 30 taong gulang pa lamang siya nung panahon na yon. Gayunman, tila mas gusto talaga ni Brown maging aktor. At mula noon, naging bahagi siya ng higit 50 mga pelikula at TV shows. Jim Brown leaves the NFL for the movies this week in sports history. Matakin nyo kung si John Mar Pahagdo ay mag-retire at maging artista. Ganun po yung ginawa ni Jim Brown. Well, alright. At this point, mga kaibigan, ready na po tayo sa ating susunod na panauhin. He is coming to you live mula sa Tokyo, kung saan andun na po ang parating na ang Team Philippines. Walang iba kung hindi ang chef de mission ng Philippine team sa Tokyo Olympics, si Mr. Mariano Nonong Araneta. Magandang umaga, Nonong.
Good morning, Noli, at saka sa lahat nakakilig sa Power Play nyo.
Wow, nakakatuwa.
Fine Saturday morning here in Tokyo.
Wow, kamusta ang weather? Kamusta ang weather dyan, Nonong? Is it pleasant?
Mainit. Kararating lang ni Humor at saka ni Coach Chavez.
Oo.
Yung the rest of the boxers naman, galing ng Bangkok, they're on the way to Olympic Village. So, tinitour lang sila ngayon ni Dr. Molo para at least ma-familiarize sila sa Olympic Village. So, kanya-kanya kaming assignment.
Let me ask you muna, Mr. Araneta, kamusta ang mood sa Tokyo? Alam ko na you came from an NOC meeting last week. What is the latest na balita mula sa International Olympic Committee, Mr. Araneta?
Ay medyo marami lang parang dapat ayusin, no. Inaayos naman ng TOPOG, yung organizing committee, kasi they're so dependent on the Japanese government. Nagkakaroon na ng problema na doon sa tinatawag na OCHA. It's the app yun na kailangan ng lahat ng delegates. So kuminsan wala pa yung hindi ka makapasok sa OCHA kasi hindi pa na-aprobahan yung activity plan mo. You have to submit your activity plan kasi na yung stay mo rito sa Tokyo. Kung saan ka pupunta, anong araw, ganon. So lahat yun, aaprubahan yun ng ng government ng Japan. And then, pag na-aprobahan, then madali lang. Yung boxers natin, wala na rin naging problema kanina pagdating nila. Kasi yung app ng OCHA, nakaano na sila eh. Importante kasi doon sa OCHA, kailangan yung test result mo within 72 hours before your departure.
So, ibig sabihin nun, Nonong, bawat galaw ninyo dyan, kailangan isinasabit yan. And when you talk about galaw, hindi yan yan ay puro training, no? Puro
training, venues, ganyan, no? Competition, ganun lang. Kaya kami Olympic Village, venues, o training venues, ganun.
Wala kasing lamyerda ngayon dyan, no?
Wala talaga.
Bawal mag-sightseeing, talagang in the
hindi ka nga makakain sa labas, you know? I mean, out doon sa mga so dito ka talaga sa Olympic Village.
Tutok na tutok, sakripisyo ng mga atleta. Do you expect or ini-expect pa ng IOC that this will be a smaller Olympics, no?
No, I think the number of athletes naman are the same, no? Ang nawala lang yung spectators. Of course, before they were planning to have the local spectators, pero ngayon talaga kasi nag-surge din sa Japan, nagkaroon sila ng state of emergency ngayon because of the COVID. So wala talagang local spectators.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the COVID-19 protocols, Mr. Araneta. Ano yan? Kailangan ba dyan, meron bang bago in terms of when you arrive? Meron ka bang quarantining? May ganyan ba? Ano ang current protocols ng IOC?
As long as you are tested 72 hours na negative ka, no, nakalagay naman sa OCHA mo, sa app mo, wala kang quarantine. No? Diretso ka na sa village o sa no. But you have to do a saliva test when you arrive then. And then we have to do a saliva test every day.
Wow.
Yan. Lahat.
Kayong mga opisyal.
Hindi, pati athletes.
Wow, talaga.
Oh, so meron kami, ito papakita ko sa. Yan ang kung saan ilalagay yung saliva mo.
Every day, sinusumitin nyo yan, kinokolekta yan.
Kakolekta mo yan. Submit mo every day. Nakalagay yung number mo, ACR accreditation, yun din ang sa barcode nila. So, yun ang laway mo.
Oh, wow. Nong, kasi siyempre, maliban sa ngayon, itong sitwasyon natin na to, maliban sa actual competition mo, yung competitor mo, ang kalaban mo dito ngayon yung virus, no? And of course, lahat tayo ay nagdarasal na walang mai-infect na atleta natin. Pero kung merong ganon, ano ang protocol ng IOC? Hindi ka na ba pwede lumaban talaga o may chance pa?
Pack up your bag. You go to a quarantine facility.
Okay.
Yung facilities nila.
Wow, talagang nakakalungkot kung yan ang mangyayari sa'yo after so many.
Kaya sinasabi natin sa athletes na ingat talaga kasi sayang naman yung pinaghirapan nila.
No vaccinations needed, Nonong?
No vaccinations needed.
Okay. Si IOC President Thomas Bach, napabalitang nag-request sa Tokyo government o sa organizing committee kung pwedeng ibalik ang mga fans at a certain point. Do you expect na mababago itong policy ng Tokyo?
Depende siguro sa surge sa case nila dito ng COVID, no? Kasi yun din ang ano nila na pag yung fans dun sa baka mahawa yung athletes, hindi natin maalam You know? Kasi yung athletes are in a bubble.
Ano ang mood dyan mismo sa Tokyo, sa mga tao dyan? Are they excited about it? Are they concerned? Is there hesitation? Do they want to watch the games? Ano ang nararamdaman mo, Nonong?
Dito sa village, of course, they want the games, no? Hindi naman kami nakakalabas kasi kaya hindi mo alam kung anong mangyayari sa, outside of where you reside. Ganun. Kaya kami, Conrad Hotel, then Olympic Village. Ganyan.
Okay.
So yun lang talaga.
Ang balita ay, sabi mo nga kanina, parating na ang ilan sa ating mga atleta sa Olympic Village, sa Tokyo. And of course, there will be a first batch that will be arriving. Unang-una, Nong, how big is the Philippine team delegation outside of the athletes? Ilang opisyal ang naririyan kasama mo?
Siguro kami mga lahat, no? Ang delegation siguro mga 70 or ganun.
70, okay. Including coaches,
Coaches,
officials.
delegates, head yung mga team leaders. Ganun.
Oo. And all of you, lahat kayo ay nasa isang hotel at hindi pwedeng lumabas.
Hindi pwedeng lumabas. So may meron sa hotel, meron dito sa Olympic Village kasi limited naman ang namin dito sa Olympic Village Ang number of beds. At saka may mga request kasi yung mga athletes o yung mga coaches na sana ito. So we're trying to arrange the rooms here. Kaya kahapon wala kaming ginawa kundi mag-arrange ng rooms nila based on their para mapagbigyan yung kanilang para maging komportable yung stay nila.
Okay. And in terms of yung documentation ng ating mga delegation, ng ating mga atleta, wala naman naging problema, Mr. Araneta?
So far, wala naging problema kasi yung boxers, dumating na nga si Humer at saka si coach, yung coach, si Chavez, galing pa sila ng Amerika. So, ang parating ngayon, underway na, they already cleared Haneda. Yung boxers naman, nagaling ng Thailand.
Okay.
So, they're on the way. Sasalubungin sila ni Doc Molo. Kanya-kanya kami assignment dito. Ako munang tao dito sa office.
And who else do you expect today? I understand
yung boxers na lang, no? And then mamayang gabi yung coach ng rowing.
Okay.
Yun.
Pero
yun muna. Bukas, yun ang madugo kasi marami.
Si Chris Ñavares ba nariyan na? Yung ating
wala
rower?
pa rito si Chris yata. Wala pa.
Wala pa. So bukas din ang dating ni Chris.
Bukas ang dating nila. Kaya bukas marami talaga.
Oo. And talagang busy-busy kayo bukas. No, I know that medyo limitado ang opening ceremonies. Ilan lamang ang sasali sa Team Philippines at magmamarcha sa opening ceremonies?
So far ngayon, yung dalawa lang muna na athletes na flag bearers, no? At saka yung 6 na officials. But we will see yung ibang athletes kung kung pwede. Depende sa schedule nila at saka depende sa coaches nila.
Pero yun talaga ang patakaran ng organizing committee na talagang flag bearer lamang? Yun lang ba?
Hindi naman.
Hindi naman. Okay, so yung ibang bansa, we expect na yung kanilang mga atleta ay mamarcha din.
Siguro naman yung ibang boxers pwede silang magmarcha kung wala naman silang competition. Ang hindi lang pwede diyan si Chris eh. Kasi rowing ka agad eh.
Oo nga.
Sa
Oo.
23.
So kailangan talagang hindi siya pwede sumama at kailangan maganda.
Tapos sina-Heidi Lin yata 24 or 25 parang ganyan, no? So,
Laban na agad.
Oo, mahirap naman yung maapektuhan yung kanilang performance. Depende sa kanila, depende sa coach.
Ano ang protocol and policy ng Philippine team? As soon as matapos ang event mo, ikaw ba'y uuwi na o aalis na ng Tokyo?
48 hours after you finish your event. Kaya yun ang patakaran, hindi naman patakaran yun. Patakaran ng ng Tokog.
Oo. So talagang you have to leave. Hindi
You
ka
have to leave,
pwedeng
yeah.
manood, hindi ka pwedeng...
Hindi pwedeng manood. Yeah.
So paano ang closing ceremonies? Anong expectation mo? Sino ang magmamarcha na lamang para sa Pilipinas?
May iwan siguro to. Boxers naman hanggang sa yata sila, sa 5 yata, hanggang ano yata.
Hanggang closing. So malamang mga
Closing
boxers
sila,
na
pati
lang.
yung golf.
Alright. Of course, nabalitaan din natin na merong itinayo o itatayong training camp. Natuloy ba yon sa Nagasaki?
Isa lang nandun, si Christina lang.
Okay. Isa lang.
Sa athletics.
Oo.
Hindi na pumunta na si EJ. Diretso na si EJ dito. Kaya
Okay.
sayang dahil dapat si EJ yung, di ba, flag bearer, pero yung patakaran kasi 48 hours before, dapat nandito ka na. So hindi naman na-book yung kanyang flight, so na-rebook. So yun talaga, yung naintindihan naman nila yon na kailangan, pati yung mga sasali sa parade, kailangan 48 hours andito ka na sa Olympic Village. Kasi dito man lahat manggagaling sa Olympic Village.
Alam din natin na napabalita na lumaki na ang insentibo na ibibigay sa mga atleta. Mr. Araneta, nagbigay si Mr. Ang at of course si Mr. Pangilinan. Kasama na of course ang PSC. Do you think that ito ay malaking bagay and of course nagbibigay ng magandang mood para sa ating mga athletes?
Siyempre, tuwang-tuwa yung mga athletes na uli, di ba? Kung mga sa boxer, patay na kung patay. Hindi, actually, with these incentives, hindi mo kailangan mag-pep talk sa kanila eh. Siguro coaches, di ba? Nakikita mo nga dito sa village, meron silang, let's say, yung Netherlands, meron silang parang countdown nila ng gold, silver, saka bronze. Sabi ko, siguro kami, lalagay namin 30, 15, 6.
Para naaalala ng atleta, ha?
Para naalala ng atleta, di ba? Countdown mo, ilan na yung 30? Ilan na yung 15? Ilan na yung 6?
Pero alam mo, kanina pinag-uusapan namin ng ating mga kasama sa media. Maganda rin siguro na yung insentibo ay naibibigay ng maaga kasi syempre iba rin yung meron ka ng hawak at lumalabang ka na kaysa yung pag hindi ako nanalo, wala rin ako makukuha. You know, what is the position din ng...
May mga incentive. May naman sila, may mga allowances naman sila, yung mga, depende na sa PSC yan kung yung may allowances naman sila dito eh. Saka ganda naman yung kanilang tirahan dito.
Alright.
Saka incentive mo talaga, Noli, is that pag nasa Olympics ka, di ba?
Oo naman.
Once you qualify sa Olympics, ano na yan eh, honor na yan eh, di ba? Hindi lahat ng athletes pwede pumunta ng Olympics. So,
19 nga lang ang pumasok eh. Kaya sa ating lahat ng atleta natin. Napabalita na si Pangulong Duterte ay may plano na manood. Yung ba ay narinig mo na? Yung ba ay posible? Papayagan ba ang mga heads of state na pumunta sa Tokyo Olympics?
Meron kasi silang deadline eh ng mga ganun. Kasi siyempre, lahat ng mga arrangement kailangan gawin nila. Lalo na pag head of state. So, we have passed the deadlines. Ang binigay namin, ang ano lang pangalan was Chairman Ramirez as sports minister. Siya yung ating VVIP dito. Yun.
Okay.
So ano na yun, parang hindi na siguro pwede yun. Pero,
hindi na siguro hahabol ang Pangulo.
Hindi na. Kasi siyempre may protocol sila na pinapollow. Alam mo naman mga Hapon.
Oo, masyadong stricto. So, ayan, malinaw po yan mga kapatid. Ha? Although napabalita na gusto ni Pangulong Duterte manood, siyempre sa dami ng protocol dyan, siguro talagang medyo malabo na. Yan.
Maganda nga sana kung siya talaga eh. Kasi siyempre, iba din yung presidente ang pupunta rito, iba yung moral. Pero Si Chairman Ramirez naman is here to represent the government.
Abay, si Chairman Boots naman talagang magaling mag-pep talk din yan Kaya
Kaya nga
Tsaka pag nakita mo naman si Chairman Boots, para nakikita mo na rin ang Pangulo.
At saka nandito rin si Ambassador Laurel na tumutulong talaga yung embassy sa amin din.
Very good. Now, Nonong, I know hindi pa tayo nagsisimula, but a lot of people are already talking na maganda ang ating tsansa na makasungkit ng elusive gold medal. I don't want to put you in a spot, pero I have to ask you this. Ano ang medal prediction ninyo dyan based on what you see and of course, sa conditions dyan sa Tokyo? Do you think that the gold medal is within reach?
I go with the prediction of Tong Bambol na at least 1 gold, di ba? Kasi kung mag-predict ka man, Noli, is that there's a basis, di ba? Hindi mo naman pwedeng sabihin mag-gold ka suntok sa buwan, di ba? Yung atleta natin are well prepared na rin, no? They have been training. So, marami din tayong potential talaga, no? May potentials talaga na mag-gold, di ba? Because based on their performance before, di ba? Number 1 si Kaloy, no? He's top rank yung sa floor exercise. So may basis din na at saka talaga siya rito focus siya sa training niya rito. So si Heidelin has been training really hard in Malaysia. She got a silver before. So parang namin she has a chance of a medal also. If not gold, then silver. Parang ganyan, no? Si EJ, he's in the top 5 of the 4 gold. Alam mo naman dyan counting gano'n na lang, baka pwede nang mag-gold. Pero, nevertheless, parang malaki din ang chance na ni EJ. Si Neste, she proved herself, di ba, in the world boxing. So, at saka with the incentive siguro, yung mga boxers natin talagang
patay kung patay.
Patay na kung patay. Humor just arrived actually now, no? And he's been training in Colorado. So maganda naman training niya doon kasi sa US Boxing Federation 'yon na facilities. So lahat naman sila, no? Si Marz Didal, Asian Games gold medalist din yan. And of course, Yuka Saso, no? She's number 9 in the world and she won the US Open. She's been here in the Japan circuit. So, medyo may magaganda ang the rest naman, marami din ang mga sina Carlo, yung mga even the rower. They'll give their best, no? So, si Kyome has been also doing well in her practice and in her tournament. So, malamang na magkakaroon tayo ng medalya, no? At least siguro kung sasabihin natin we can have the first gold, may possibility talaga. Ganun.
Well, yan ang ating pagdarasal. Siyempre,
yung dasal talaga kailangan din.
Talagang maraming factors in winning the gold medal. Mr. Araneta, can you give us a little bit of a idea ano magiging opening ceremonies? Meron na ba kayong nasilip niyo na ba? Meron na ba kayong nasagap na chismis diyan? How big, how beautiful the opening ceremonies will be? May mga celebrities
ba sila sa opening, yun ang kanilang kung sorpresa yan So hindi basta mga athletes will just share, you just be panggaling din sa Olympic Village lahat, tapos i-ferry, tapos after that, then babalik din. Ganyan lang. Yun lang ang sa amin.
Wala ba kayong nababalita ang mga celebrity na magpe-perform sa opening ceremonies?
Wala wala pang balita dito.
Mahina ka sa chismis, Nonong, ha?
Busy tayo dito ngayon sa welcome ng mga athletes.
No, I know. Before I let you go, alam ko maraming venues scattered all over Japan. Hindi lang naman Tokyo yan, di ba? So, ano ba yan? Bawat isang competition area is a bubble by itself? At
meron silang off-site villages. Ganun.
Alright.
Kasi yung sa mga sailing, cycling, off-site villages sila. Meron silang bubble din doon. Meron ding yung sa football, meron sa Sapporo. So, isang venue nila sa Sapporo, so bubble din sila doon. Yan ang inaano natin. Tapos dito naman, let's say yung sa golf, medyo 70 kilometers away from the Olympic Village. So inaano namin na sina Sas, sina Yuka, si Bianca, saka si Jubic will stay in a hotel na parang Olympic family hotel yon. So para at least mas malapit sila doon sa sa venue nila.
So in other words, hindi na mandatory ba na ang atleta nasa loob ng village?
Dito sila. Either sa Olympic hotel, family hotel, o sa Olympic.
Alright. Well, before I let you go, Mr. Araneta, alam ko that just the fact na na-stage itong Tokyo Olympics is already a success after 1 year of delay and the pandemic. But in your mind, Nonong, ano ang ultimate measure ng ating success as a Team Philippines dyan sa Tokyo Olympics?
Of course, yung success is based on the medals talaga eh. Di ba? So, kasi last time we had 1 silver yata, di ba? In Rio. So, yun talagang inaano natin that we'll have multiple medals winners dito kasi we represented 11 NSAs dito, andito, di ba? So, each one of them is capable. So, yun lang ang natin at sana mas maraming medalya ngayon. At saka, ito lang, Noli, gusto ko lang pasalamatan din yung team ng POC. Dito ngayon, sina Dina, si Martin, si Jared, si Dr. Molo. Kanya-kanyang assignment kami. And, sila talagang they've been working hard to make sure that everything is in order sa mga parating pa rito, yung walang na meetings. Ngayon meron kaming sa 10 o'clock meron kaming meeting with the embassy. So
Diyan naman si Kong Bumble? Parating
wala pa, the 21st yata sa dating.
21st na dating ni Kong Bumble. All right. Well, Mr. Araneta, thank you so much sa pagbibigay mo ng panahon. Alam ko busy ka, pero binigyan mo ng panahon ng ating mga kababayan marinig kung anong latest na nangyayari dyan sa ating kupunan. We wish you all the best. Maybe final message mo sa ating mga kababayan na Nonong.
Please, prayers for our athletes, for their safety and for their success.
Well said. Maraming salamat, Mr. Mariano Nonong Araneta, Chef de Mission ng Team Philippines.
Thank you, Noli. Bye.
Goodbye. Yan po mga kaibigan, ang ating kaibigan si Mariano Nonong Araneta, Chef de Mission ng Pilipinas Tokyo Olympics. Again, sabi niya, we need the prayers. Dasal po yan ang ating kailangan sa ating pagdating ng Olympiada next week. Alright, before we continue, gusto ko lang pong palalahanan sa inyo lahat na ang Power and Play is powered by Smart. At ang Smart ay nagpapaalala, Puso Pilipinas is a movement to celebrate the Filipino athlete powered by Smart. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get a chance to win exclusive Puso Pilipinas merch by sharing their Facebook page in your social media accounts with hashtag Puso Pilipinas. The Giga Life app is the latest mobile app from Smart that lets you discover and enjoy your passions with the different Giga promos. It can be downloaded and used by Smart Postpaid, Smart Prepaid, Bro Prepaid, and TNT to subscribers via the Apple or Google Play Store. What can the Giga Life app do for me? Check your balance, monitor your current subscription, top up using debit credit card, subscribe to the latest Giga promos, monitor your data consumption, auto-detect your mobile number when you are connected to Smart Network one-tap subscription to the most popular offer, Giga Video 99. Yan po, ang Smart, Live Smart, Power and Play is powered by Smart. And we will take a quick break. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loom.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know is D1? Simple, smart ako. Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know is D1? Simple, smart ako.
I'd like to say a special greetings to my son, Fabio. Happy birthday, buddy. Sana nag-enjoy ka doon sa iyong celebration. Happy birthday, Fabio. Alright, at this point mga kapatid, gusto ko lang pong pasalamatan lahat ng tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Una sa lahat, of course, ang Big Boss Cement. Big Boss sa tatag, Big Boss sa tibay. Nandito na ang Big Boss Cement. Di basta matitibag, approved sa kalikasan at sobrang abot kaya. Big Boss Cement is the first eco-friendly cement company in the Philippines. First and only cement that is produced with low to 0% of high carbon footprint materials. Big Boss Cement, marami po salamat kay Engineer Gilbert Cruz, ang Presidente at Chief Company Innovator ng Big Boss Cement. Thank you also to Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Sa ganitong pabago-bago ang panahon, mga kapatid, sobrang init tapos biglang uulan. Kailangan natin ng matibay at protektadong bubong. Dapat ang bubong ay yerong may aluminum. Kapag may aluminum, tsak na pang matagalan. At isa lang, ang alam kong dekalidad na yerong may aluminum, yan ang Cherry Loom. Ang yerong may aluminum tibay protektado sa pangmatagalang yero. Cherry Loom, ang yerong may aluminum. Maraming pong salamat kay paring Elmer Ngo ng Cherry Loom. Thank you also to Elms Resto Bar Group with branches at Elms Tapas and Winery located in Calle Bistro, Commonwealth, Quezon City, and Elms Grill and Bar sa Poblacion, Makati. You may call their mobile number 0977-157-0499 o di kaya 0966-854-4048 or visit their FB and IG pages at Elms Resto Bar Group for reservations and inquiries. Marami din pong salamat, of course, sa Joyride, ang bago ninyong kasundo. Dahil ayaw naming nahihirapan ka, book Joyride Motorcycle Taxi now and experience hassle-free commute. Kapag delivery naman, Joyride ang gamitin, bagsak presyo, pero hindi ang serbisyo. Joyride is now on its lowest rates ever. At of course, ang bago po naming offering, the JR Mall, ang pinakabagong offering ng Joyride para sa mga consumers at mga customers. So download the latest super app ng Joyride now. Marami din po salamat, of course, sa Makinig Professional, your school of makeup artistry, the official makeup of Power and Play. And marami po salamat sa Skin, your face and body anti-aging center with branches at Wilson Street, San Juan City and Alabang Town Center, Muntinlupa City. We provide Indiba tissue regeneration procedure and many more to take care of your body needs. For inquiries, please call 0977-809-8886 o 0917-890-1640. Hanapin lamang si Dr. G. Sarmiento at si Doc Richie Sarmiento. And of course, marami din po salamat sa Presiderm. Mga kaibigan, sa panahon ngayon, sa gitna ng pandemya, higit nating kailangan ang mga taong ating maaasahan. Mga lugar na makakapagbigay sa atin ng kaligtasan, mga bagay na ating kakapitan sa anumang oras. Yung sigurado, yung pwede nating tawaging most trusted. Parang President, your most trusted skincare. Thank you also to Jario Milenio, the official media partner of Power and Play. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating mga tagapagtaguyod ng Power and Play. Alright, at this point, naku, ito na. Kanina sabi ko, ang tema natin ngayon is sa Olimpiada, faster, higher, stronger. Diba? Yung tinatawag na Sitius, Altius, Fortius. Itong susunod kong mga bisita, kung ako Talinus, yung isa dyan, Tangkadus, at yung isa, Pogyus. Walang iba kung hindi ang ating mga veteranong analyst na hihimayin ang kabubukas lamang na PBA season, si Coach Ryan Gregorio at si Dominic Uy. Good morning, Tangkadus and Pogyus. Tama ba yun, Coach Ryan?
Nako, una na ako kasi hindi liitos ang sinabi mo, Com. Napakaswerte ko.
Morning.
Good morning, Com. Dom, good morning.
Good morning, Coach Ryan. Good morning, Com. Great to be on the show again.
Nako, matagal ko na kayong hinahanap dahil ito si Dom, nakita ko to sa golf course . Ikaw, Coach Ray, alam ko, busy-busy ka sa SBP. Pero ngayon na nagbukas na ang PBA, mas busy pa kayo ngayon. Unang-una, your reaction, how significant is the opening of the PBA, not only for you, but I guess for many of the basketball fans? Coach Ray.
It's very significant. We've all been battling this COVID situation for over a year now. And what we want really is a little bit of normalcy in our daily grind. So just to see basketball once again on air, bumalik yung excitement level natin. For sure, napakasaya ng bawat Pilipino. Nakakita na naman tayo ng high-level basketball play in our country. And I'm just so happy that the PBA is back.
Dom, obviously, you are, very much a part of this mga players groups and of course the mga social media accounts. What is the players' reaction to the return of the PBA? And of course, gaano kahirap yun? Yung just to be away from the game for almost, 7 months?
Actually, Com, I was fortunate enough to be able to cover yesterday. And the game I covered was NLEX. And nakausap ko si Kiefer Rivera. And sabi ko, Keith, obviously there's a lot of things going on with Kiefer, right? But one thing that really ang sinabi niya sa akin is, the whole issue or the whole problem of during the pandemic is palakas sila ng palakas. They keep trying to get stronger, better, quicker. But the question is, when will they be able to use all of that preparation? And he was so excited yesterday because he said, finally we can play again. And it is not in the bubble in Clark. It's in Inares, and wala pa ring fans. However, it's just being able to play basketball with people at the same level or at a higher level. So it's everybody's very excited. And nabalitaan natin yesterday also from Com Willie na pinayagan na yung PBA to actually practice in NCR. So that's a good development. Pinayagan na siya ng MMDA. So the PBA would actually like to thank Chairman Abalos because starting today pwede na, because some teams are able to practice outside, but some teams putol-putol yung preparation. So that means also the games will get better. The players will get much better quicker. So ang end result nun, better games.
Totoo yan. Alam mo, nagtataka nga ako Coach Ray, kung paano nila gagawin yan . Yung paano ang alam natin, closed circuit, venue, bahay, venue lang paano sila magpa-practice kung hindi pinayagan? But that's really good news mula kay Dominic. But again, Coach Ryan, yung sinasabi ni Dominic, yung quality of games, obviously yung long layoff, practice ka nga ng practice, wala ka naman tune-up games. That is a concern for coaches.
Well, definitely, because you feel like every time you step inside the basketball court, your preparation time was not enough. Ganon parati yan. That is the psyche of coaches. That is also the way players think. And ang difference kasi nitong situation natin ngayon, ibang-iba yung level ng preparation ng mga teams natin. It's not like they started all at the same time. They have the same facility to play for. Some of them went as far as Ilocos. Some went to Batangas. But still, it's different if you know that you have a certain practice time that you prepare for every day. So yun ang mga challenges ng mga teams natin. And you can see it yesterday. Alaska and Blackwater, they were playing well in the first half. But towards the second half, nagkaiba na. Medyo umalagwa na yung Alaska and they won by a considerable amount of end game numbers. So yung second game naman natin, it was pretty close. And the third one, yung Meralco Bolts versus Northport, makikita mo rin, not enough preparation time for Northport. Mas preparado yung Meralco Bolts. And of course, na-miss din ng Northport yung services ni Greg Slaughter in that particular game.
Alam mo, bahagi, of course, Dom, ng long layup, yung kalawang factor. And when you have kalawang, parang sasakyan yan, parang kahit anong bagay na kinakalawang, pwedeng bambali. And in the last experience natin, in the bubble last year, the NBA with its compact schedule, injuries were very much a part of the season. Is there a huge concern about this coming season para sa PBA?
I think it should be better than the previous one in Clark because there was a lot more time to prepare, at least individually. There was about 6 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And then now with the opening that you can practice, I think that should be lessened. And I think people learned already. Some people came into the bubble in Clark the last time out of shape, really out of shape. Some came in great shape. And I was talking to some of the players yesterday, and they were saying also that, the last time, they had maybe a week or two to prepare, and now 6 weeks tapos everybody's coming into better shape kasi nakita na nila na mahirap if you prepare well, then you have a better chance of being injury free.
All right. Well, himayin natin ng kahit konti. Alam naman natin hindi natin pwedeng lahat tutukan ang mangyayari dito sa darating na Philippine Cup, but in a way, let's give the fans a nutshell here, Coach Ryan and Dominic. Tungkol dito sa mga aabangan natin sa Philippine Cup. Unahin ko muna, no? When you look at the lineups ng mga koponan, Coach Ryan and Dominic, who do you think had the best upgrade for this coming season? I'll start with you.
There was one team who did not need an upgrade, but still they were able to get the best player in the last conference, and that is San Miguel. You look at the lineup of San Miguel on paper, as it was a couple of years ago, malakas pa rin sila. But add another player, CJ Perez, who averaged 24.4 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, and 4.3 assists. Definitely, they just got better. But the question there is, how is he going to take the number of shots that he used to take when he was playing for Terra Firma? Considering that he will be playing with Junmar Fajardo, Alex Cabagnot, Marcio Lassiter, Arwin Santos, Mo Tautua, Chris Ross. That will be a challenge for the coach of San Miguel, how he's gonna divide the number of shots among his quality players inside the basketball court. The other team that I thought did a tremendous job with their off-season acquisition is Meralco Bolts. By acquiring Mac Bello, a guy who was averaging 11.3 points per game in the 4 seasons that he has played for Blackwater Elite, all of a sudden exploded to score 27 points last night. So yung dalawang teams na yun ang tinitignan natin. But for San Miguel, the jury is still out. Malakas sila on paper, malakas sila historically, but how are they gonna play with their chemistry intact, their offensive concepts? That is something that we have to look out for.
And of course, coming from an injury, laging nag-iiba ang isang player. Junmar will obviously be, checking himself all the time, and hindi natin malalaman until we see the full potential of the 5-time, 6-time MVP si Junmar Fajardo. All right, Dom, do you agree? Ano ang sa tingin mo the best team that upgraded their lineup this season?
Kinuha na ni Coach Ryan San Miguel. So let's go to Barangay Ginebra. Barangay Ginebra just won the All-Filipino in the bubble. Upgraded with whom? Christian Stan Hardinger. They wanted to bring in more versatility. They wanted to bring in, that center position. That was probably the position that Barangay Ginebra was missing. They wanted to go a little bit quicker. They wanted to go a guy with, the way I see Stan Hardinger, he's really a supersized Rudy Hatfield. If you remember how Rudy was just getting rebounds and just going and going and going, and he's a proven winner internationally. He wants to win a championship locally. So I think Barangay Ginebra, with that trade of Greg Slaughter, winning without Greg, and then now with Christian Stanhardinger, with being able to practice, it is going to be huge for them to be able to defend the title and be able to win again. But props to the Meralco Bolts. Kasi sino ba yung governor ng Meralco?
Al Panlilio yun. Al Panlilio.
Mali pa. Pero ako, I agree with the
Alternate lang.
I agree with you. I think Ginebra, San Miguel, Meralco. I like Meralco. What I saw last night, ang ganda ng kanilang laro. And based on the 6 teams that played kahapon, I think Meralco will make it to the finals kung yun lang ang pagbabasihan natin. But sa akin, the best upgrade is from non-player, but a coach. I think Talk and Text upgraded with Coach Chot Reyes, and I think they will be a force this season. It will be interesting to see how their young players, their young recruits, and their vets will mix dito sa Philippine Cup. Let's go now talking about players. Coach Ryan, alam natin na itong ligang ito is dependent so much on leadership, on players making the right play. Pagdating sa backcourt, sino sa tingin mo ang may most potent backcourt dito sa upcoming season?
Well, I have 3 teams. When I was looking at the roster of all the teams when it was presented yesterday, of course, Tenorio and Pringle, ano na yan, subok na yan eh. Alam natin that Tenorio is the Chris Paul of the Philippines. Very controlled. He knows exactly how to control a particular game and how to make his big man happy. And at the same time, he can get his own shots as well. But another thing that I want to see is TNT. You've mentioned that. Coach Chot Reyes is back. And historically, alam natin kung gaano kagagaling yung mga gwardiya ni Coach Chot. So Jason Castro will again be reunited with the coach na talagang he blossomed and made him a legitimate superstar, not just in the Philippines, but also in the international level, in the Asian competitions to be exact. There is an R.R. Pugoy, and the guy that they drafted is si Mikey Williams. I want to see how he will play. He's a 29-year-old rookie, a lot of upside in his game despite his age because of the international experience. And I'm sure TNT will again lord it over in terms of that backcourt accuracy and competency. San Miguel, ubusin na kita doon para mag-isip ka na. Kukunin ko na lahat ng malakas na backcourt. Chris Ross, Alex Cabagno, Terence Romeo, Perez, and Marshall Lassiter. Pinakamabigat na backcourt lineup nasa San Miguel ulit. Dom, I'm sorry.
Alright, Dom. Ano sa'yo?
Okay.
Inubos
Sige,
na Ryan.
punta tayo sa young, solid backcourt na lang. Sabi ko na eh. Na-anticipate ko. But you look at NLEX. You look at NLEX with a Kiefer Ravena and a Kevin Alas. I mean, that is solid. These guys, you can see it. It's just a matter of time before they win a championship. And if you look at the NLEX Road Warriors, that is a solid backcourt. So I'll go with NLEX. TNT, I will agree with Coach Ryan. Mikey Williams and a Jason Castro combination. That is, I mean, I've seen Mikey Williams play when he played for Mighty Sports in Dubai, and he's legitimate. He will make an impact right away, and I feel that's why TNT really made a move for him to be able to get him in the draft.
Well, alam naman natin, lahat yung binanggit nyo ay talaga napakalakas. But of course, Magnolia, hindi magpapatalo yan. Their backcourt is tried and tested with Paul Lee, Mark Baroka. Well, we don't know the status of Gio Alalon, but he's there, and obviously that will be a strong backcourt as well. And I like Phoenix, Ryan.
Yes.
And Dom.
Yes, Tom, yes.
Banchero and Matthew Wright are as good as any when it comes to the backcourt. So that will be very interesting na labanan pagdating sa Philippine Cup. Now, let me go to the front court. When you talk about the front court, alam naman natin yan ang haligi ng isang laro. Sino naman ang most imposing front line? Simulan kita, Dom, para ikaw naman ang umubos.
Tama. I agree.
Okay. It's obvious. San Miguel, most imposing front line with Junmar Fajardo and Mo Tautua. But I think it's a toss-up between San Miguel and Barangay Ginebra with Christian Stanhardinger and Japet Aguilar. I mean, these are just on paper. Obviously, the Japet and Stanhardinger, we haven't seen them play together in Barangay Ginebra right now. We've seen them in Gilas. Doon naman sa San Miguel, we have to see how healthy Junmar Fajardo is. So on paper, credentials-wise, definitely will go to those two teams.
Coach Ryan?
Yes, I agree with Dom's San Miguel, with Fajardo, Tautua, and Santos. But let me put in Magnolia also. Because of Ian Sangalang, he has played a lot of years already, won a championship with Magnolia. He's now a veteran in the league. And of course, the addition of Calvin Abueva. He's an undersized power forward and a big man, but definitely plays taller than what his actual height is. But the difference there is still Rafi Rivas. Rafi Rivas, over 40 years old, but still playing a lot of quality minutes, can still alter shots, can still be dependent upon in terms of defense. He will still get a lot of loose balls on the offensive side and on the weak side, and he will still be a force to be reckoned with in this conference.
Well, that's interesting. Hindi ko naisip si Rafi Rivas, but obviously, hindi naman siya talagang dependent upon on scoring, but whenever you have Rafi Rivas there, ang hirap bugin yung front line na yan na Magnolia. All right. And of course, when you look at the totality of a team, hindi lang naman front court, back court, but it's really the totality that makes a team really good. But, just on the ideal, what is the best starting five that you can see right now, Coach Ryan, dito sa PBA?
Can I go with the best starting 8?
Ang dami nun eh.
The best starting 5, by far, Dom, is still San Miguel. Because the only reason why they lost in the last conference is because Junmar Fajardo did not play. But you put in Junmar Fajardo again, even at an 80-90% start of a Junmar Fajardo, then he will get better towards the end of the conference. It will still be more than enough. So you have a Junmar Fajardo who will man the paint for San Miguel, still an immovable force, an unstoppable player inside, and he will still lord it over. He'll still average 16 to 18 points per ball game. Now put in a much mature Arwin Santos who can get shots from the outside, one of the best floor spacers in the league. Then you have that space for Junmar Fajardo to operate and an outside sniping of Arwin Santos. And then a Marshall Lassiter, a good 38% shooter from deep. He will still be the guy whom they will look for whenever they get 3-point shots. And Alex Cabagnot, one of the best pick-and-roll players, and add Chris Ross, still the best point guard in the league. Now add Mo Tautua, CJ Perez, who is good for probably with San Miguel, 15 points per game. He's not going to get his 24 points per game because of the limited number of shots that he will be taking. And Terence Romeo coming off the bench and just manufacturing his own shots. So San Miguel will still be the best team on paper, but of course, the jury is still out. We still want to see how they're going to play inside the basketball court.
Ang tanong ko sa'yo, Ryan, and before I go to Dom, if you were just to choose, who will start? Will CJ Perez start?
He's going to come off the bench. Give respect to the elder statesman.
Kumbaga, chemistry yan. Chemistry issue yan, no?
Yes.
Siyempre, ang tagal ko na dito eh. Parang yan eh, parang si Dom, giving chance daw. Ay, hindi pala. Wala ako. Dom, ikaw, best starting five for you.
Okay, since Coach Ryan took San Miguel, it's a toss-up, I think, also for Barangay Ginebra. You look at Barangay Ginebra, totality, if he has a starting 8, Ginebra at least easily about a starting 7. You look at Japet Aguilar, Christian Stanhardinger, L.A. Tenorio, Scotty Thompson, you have an Aljon Mariano, Joe Devance. I mean, you look at all of those guys, anybody can start also. That's the thing with Ginebra. And with the way they play, they're resilient. They won't blow teams out of the court, right? What they'll do is slowly but surely they will dissect you. Really how Coach Tim Cone does it. And it is something that the players have bought into that system, that they know they don't panic. They may lose this game. They may hear things outside, but he's got such a great connection with his players, with his unit, that they are just solid. So I think Barangay Ginebra's up there as well.
Well, they are the defending champions, and of course, pag ganda si Tim Cone, you can never, ever put them below maybe 1 or 2 spots.
Pero kung may nakatalo kay Coach Tim, ha? May nakatalo kay Coach Tim.
Alam ko rin yun, kilala ko yun.
may tumalo down 0-2.
Retired na,
Papaalala kay
retired
Coach Tim yun. All right. No, before we leave the players, ngayon, of course, yung inaabangan natin, hindi lamang yung mga veterans, but yung mga rookies. And when you talk about the rookies, ang daming exciting rookies this season, Coach Ryan and Don. So ikaw, for you, who is the rookie that is not only exciting but will make the most impact on his team? Coach Ryan.
Dom, I'll give Mikey Williams to you and I'll talk about Joshua Monzon. Joshua Monzon will have an impact because the system that Terra Firma plays is give the ball to your best one-on-one player and get out of the way. And that is exactly why CJ Perez scored a ton of points for his team. So without CJ Perez as the focal point on offense for Terra Firma, it's got to be Joshua Monzon. So I expect Joshua Monzon to score a lot of points for Terra Firma because he will be the #1 option on offense and he will create the biggest impact. Now, is it going to translate into precious victories for them? Of course, Terra Firma is hoping that that will happen. But in terms of numbers, in terms of getting to the 20s every single night, I think Joshua is capable of doing that one.
Dominic?
I completely agree with Coach Ryan, especially because the stage is laid out for him in Terra Firma. Let's go to Mikey Williams. I feel impact, yes, because Coach Trot has the ability to be able to put the players in situations that they will blossom. I think the system of Coach Trot will definitely complement or will give an opportunity or a stage as well for Mikey Williams. He's good bit off the pick and roll. He can shoot the three. He can attack. He's quick. He's heady. And he's strong. I mean, when you're playing for Coach Trot, you have to be mentally strong. And I think Mikey Williams will be that guy. He will be a guy that will play major minutes for TNT. And I think TNT will go a long way this conference because of how they've built their team right now. You can see the energy, the spirit, renewed energy for TNT. Everybody's hopeful. Everybody is looking forward to it. And remember, Coach Trot is the winningest coach in the TNT franchise. He's done the right.
Yes.
So I think that's really a great move.
All right. Well, it's too early to tell. Hindi pa natin nakikita yung mga ibang koponan. But, based on the discussions, Ryan and Dominic, I'll put you on the spot. Your top 4 that will go into the semifinals. I'll begin with you, Dominic.
I think San Miguel, Barangay Ginebra, Pure Foods, and TNT.
Ryan?
I'll go for San Miguel, Barangay Ginebra, TNT, and Love Your Own, Meralco Bolts.
I would say that you two are correct dahil yung mga teams na yon are really perhaps the strongest. And I like Meralco. I like Talk and Text. San Miguel is always there, and of course Ginebra, but you can never count out Magnolia. Dark horse, just one dark horse, Ryan.
Phoenix, because Topex Robinson is such an exemplary coach.
All right, Dom.
Bob, same. Phoenix. Gotta remember, they've got Vic Manuel now, an inside presence that they did not have previously. That is something that they really made a move for. And I think it's like Coach Ryan said, Coach Topex Robinson is a player's coach. So it's a great situation. Vic Manuel wants to be able to have a chance of winning.
Well, alam mo, the last time the PBA had a bubble, it was very successful. It became a model, hindi lamang sa bansang ito, kung hindi sa FIBA Asia. Ginamit yan ng FIBA in all of its patterns, and the PBA should be credited for that. Of course, the NBA started it all. Now, this is a closed circuit system na ipatutupad ng PBA. Coach Ryan, is this another referendum on this system by the PBA? At kung ito ba'y maging successful, could this be a model even for amateur sports?
I certainly hope so. It is a confluence of positive things through the leadership of Commissioner Willie Marshall. A lot of government agencies pitched in. And I'm just hoping that the most important thing will happen as we are going through this journey. And that is the discipline that is required for every personnel entering and coming out of the bubble. They cannot be losing their sight on the goal, and that is to finish the tournament. They cannot rest on their laurels by saying everything is going to be safe, because the environment and the outside world is definitely not safe. So we all have to be disciplined in making sure that we don't compromise the setup.
Dominic, alam natin that mental health was an issue, kaya yung bubble was not the top choice for the PBA. Now that this closed-circuit system is going to be implemented, alam natin yan, bawal ang lamierda din. Yan ang sinasabi ni Com, really. Bawal ang lamierda. How big of an impact is that? And will the players embrace this throughout this particular conference?
Well, going back to my conversation that I had with Sean Anthony and Kiefer Ravena, both golfers yan, Com. And I was asking them, and I played with them, and I was asking Sean, I was like, Sean, when are we going to play again? He goes, I haven't played in 2 months. We're focused on playing. We're focused on playing basketball. It's not allowed to do all these other things. Kiefer, the same thing. So you gotta love that they know that it is brought down. That message has been brought down from the commissioner's office. Even yesterday, one of the things I do in between games is to have a cup of coffee. And there is a coffee shop right outside Inares. And I was going to ask him, one of the guys, to buy coffee, but they said, sorry, sir, once we come in to this venue, you cannot go out anymore. So it's good. I mean, all of those parameters are set. Now, with what Coach Ryan said, the discipline of keeping to it. Well, obviously, at the beginning, everybody will be following. The question is, can you finish it from start to end?
Sana nga wala nang maging abirya dyan sa ating sistemang yan, because everyone wants to see a full PBA playing this Philippine Cup. Before I let you go, Ryan and Dominic, kayo rin magiging busy. Sa inyo, balik kayo sa inyong pagtatrabaho sa PBA. And many people are, of course, missing you. How refreshing is this for you, Coach Ryan?
It is very refreshing, and I'm just so excited, and I feel like I'm a rookie commentator again. I'm preparing hard for 2 games in today's doubleheader, and then for tomorrow again. So it is such an exciting situation for me personally and for all of us. And Com, thank you for this platform once again. Always a joy to be discussing things with you. PBA, SBP, Gilas, and whatever will be ready to be here and representing what is good about basketball in general.
Siyempre, hindi SBP ngayon, pero hahabulin kita sa SBP dahil marami pa tayong pagkikwentuhan sa SBP. Dom, I'll see you in the golf course. And obviously it will be a fun time for you. I really wish you all the best and enjoy the PBA games.
Thank you, Com, and it's always a pleasure to be on your show. And again, congratulations to Coach Ryan and the SBP for a successful staging of the FIBA OQT.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Dom.
Maraming salamat. Coach Ryan Gregorio and Dominic Uy sa Power and Play. Thank you so much. Yan po mga kaibigan, ang ating mga kaibigang analysts, veteran analysts ng PBA. 2 of the best. Talaga, I think that, if kung merong Mark Jackson, Jeff Van Gundy, mas gwapo si Coach Ryan at saka si Dominic. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Tom. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll take a quick break. Sa amin pong pagbabalik, ang ating mga kapanayam, Jason Brickman ng Meralco Bolts 3x3 team. Ito po ang Power and Play, hatid sa inyo ng Big Boss Cement at ng Cherry Loom, powered by Smart.
Welcome to the Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life, simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's T1? Simple, smart ako. Giga Life. Your passions, your stories, your life. Simplified with just one app. This is the future. The Giga Life in just one tap. Experience more Giga moments when you make the smart choice. With the Philippines' fastest mobile data network. How do I know it's T1? Simple, smart ako.
Imbag na bigat sa ating po mga kaibigan sa Baguio City. I was there over the week and I met a few friends. Gusto ko pong batiin si Joseph at si Raya Bautista yan ng University of Baguio. At yung aking katiya, si Alex, magandang umaga sa inyo. Ang sarap po ng weather, no, although nag-uulan. Oh, by the way, I also met a former PBA player, former Alaska Aces, dati po namin player sa SMBA-BL. At ngayon ay very successful sa Baguio City. Siya po ay isang restaurateur na ngayon, a very successful businessman, Benedict Fernandez. Good morning, Ben. Thank you for hosting us. Next week, or we will try to catch, pinangako ni Ben yan, that he will join us here on Power and Play on a topic called Life After the PBA, just to show you na talaga pong may buhay sa labas ng paglalaro ng basketball. Oh, pinag-uusapan natin ang mga sports. Well, malapit na nga ang Olympics at yan po ang ating pinulsuhan ngayong araw na to. At basahin ko lang dahil medyo tayo nakukulangan ng oras, babasahin ko lang po. Ang ating pinulsuhan, sabi natin, sa lahat po ng ating mga atleta o delegado, sino po ang inyong tinututukan sa paparating na Olimpiada? Ang sabi po ni Sensui, sabi niya, Golfcom, yan ang aking inaabangan. Okay, talaga namang malaki ang chance ni Yuka at saka ni Bianca Pagdanganan. Sama na natin si Juvic Pagunsan. Mula naman kay Jorge Paule, 1982. Lahat, all, this might be our best batch of athletes that has a shot at the elusive gold. Sus Mariosep talaga. Pag nag-champion tayo, pag nag-gold tayo dyan, Sus Mariosep talaga yan, mga kapatid. And then from Mark Suba, ang inaabangan daw niya ay si Obiena and Yulo. Well, si EJ Obiena, doing very well. Sabi nga niya, many factors for a gold medal. Kaloy Yulo, sa tingin ko, malaki ang chance niyan, lalong-lalo na pagdating sa floor exercises. So, kagaya po na sinabi ni Mr. Araneta, pagdasal po natin ang ating mga atleta. Alright, talking about athletes, minsan meron tayo mga bagay na gustong mapanood pero hindi po nating makuha. Meron po tayong mga pangarap na hindi natin matupad. Ito po ay kwento ng yung ating susunod na panauhin. Matagal niya na pong gustong maglaro sa PBA pero dahil sa mga patakaran, sa mga rules na tila minsan hindi na reasonable ay hindi po siya makapasok at makapaglaro. Subalit, nagkaroon po siya ng maliit na opening, a window of opportunity to play and show his wares in the PBA. And that is via the 3x3 route. One of the best passers in the USNCAA, a former champion in the ABL and a former MVP. Ang ating pong panauhin ngayon sa Power and Play, si Jason Brickman ng Meralco Bolts 3x3 team. Panoorin po niyo to. Jason, thank you so much and welcome to Power and Play.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
You know, like I mentioned, you know, you're a kind of player that many people know, but who, you know, have not really seen in the flesh. So I was quite interested to just see and learn more about you. But before that, you know, and before I ask you about, you know, what you're going to be doing very soon, Jason, you know, in the US, you played NCAA Division I, and obviously you were highly touted. Was basketball really your first love, your first sport?
Yes, growing up, I played, basketball, baseball, soccer, I played, all the sports growing up, but probably around middle school is when I really just stuck with basketball because it's the sport that me and my brothers all loved. And, our dad, pushed us to play and to practice. And so, that's the sport that we all fell in love with and decided to stick with. We were really competitive in the other sports as well, but basketball was definitely the one that we fell in love with.
When you were growing up, I know your mother is a Filipino. When you were growing up, did you know about Philippine basketball in the PBA?
When I was younger, I didn't know much about the Philippines basketball. It wasn't until maybe high school and college that I started hearing about the PBA. People were starting to compare my game with Jimmy Alapag. I started hearing Jimmy Alapag's name a lot, and just meeting the Filipino and Filipino Americans in Texas. That's when I really started to learn about the PBA and saw that could be an option in the future.
Well, you've been compared to so many people. You've been compared to Jimmy Alapag, of course. There was a former PBA import, Del Demps, who also talked about you and said that this is a guy who can certainly make any team look good, just like Tony Parker. I guess, growing up and knowing that the Philippines is a basketball country, was it part of your plan to ever play in the Philippines?
I think my ultimate goal was to try to make the NBA, and after that, I would always wanted to play basketball professionally overseas. And seeing guys that I played with, playing the PBA, especially Chris Ross, a guy that's from San Antonio, who made his journey and played overseas in the Philippines. So starting to see guys that I know from back home playing in the Philippines, that's when I saw that it was an opportunity, and I really started to see more of the style of play and start following Philippines basketball.
Given that, Jason, how come you didn't apply in the PBA earlier? I know that you applied in the NBA after you graduated college and you were undrafted. How come, it took you a while before you actually decided and, sent your papers to the PBA?
Yeah, I think when I first came out of college, I was really looking to play in Europe. I played in Russia and Germany my first year. And, then I decided to come out to Asia, and I played with, Coach Ariel with Malaysia Dragons with Matthew Wright. And that's when I, really saw PBA as an option. And I ended up applying after for my first year in the ABL, and, I was unsuccessful to get my recognition papers. So it's probably 2016 or 2017 when I first, applied to try to get those papers done.
All right. Well, you were, as I mentioned, you were undrafted in the NBA, and of course, you had been ruled as ineligible last season. And as you said, even before that, when you first applied, you've been through a lot. Even though that your reputation precedes you, you're such a great passer, you're such a great playmaker, a great leader, and yet you've not been able to maximize, the talent that you have been given to play in these leagues. What is your mindset, Jason, when you go through these times, when you go through these difficult moments?
Yes, I just want to, still enjoy playing and trust, that things are meant to be, and hopefully, in the future that I can get into the PBA. But I'm still enjoying, playing overseas, getting other opportunities, opportunities to play in the ABL, play against, guys that either have played in the PBA or going to the PBA. So I'm enjoying traveling. I think the great thing about playing, in the ABL the past few years is getting to travel Southeast Asia, see the other countries. And I've also been able to represent, the Philippines teams in some tournaments with Mighty Sports. And then, the past season with Ala Filipinas, getting to represent the Philippines in the ABL. So I think I'm getting closer, and hopefully, this year, playing the 3-on-3 in the PBA, I think that, I'm right there, and hopefully, soon I can play in the 5-on-5.
Right. We certainly hope so, because, such a talent like yours, is something that should be playing in the PBA. Of course, your talent was first known in the NCAA Division One when you played with Long Island University. You led the NCAA Division One in assists one season, and you were only one of 4 players who have ever registered 1,000 assists in his career. When you look at your game, Jason, was there any particular player that you patterned your game after?
Yes, I think Jason Kidd is probably the number one player that I tried to play like. I think Jason Kidd and Steve Nash, after that were 2 guys that I really loved the way that they played. Great passing point guards, really control the team and did so many things on the court. So those are 2 of my favorite players, to watch growing up. I really tried to play like Jason Kidd. So I think that's a lot of people, tried to compare me to Jason Kidd, John Stockton, those past first point guards.
Right. Yeah. Well, 8.5 assists in your career, not bad when you led the NCAA. When you look at the PBA, though, is there anyone that you sort of see your game from, and you kind of compare yourself to him in terms of at least your passing ability as well?
No, I don't really compare my game to any of the point guards there. I know there's a lot of great guards there in the PBA. I would love to match up and go against them. I think there's really a lot of talented guards, and Stanley Pringle, Chris Ross. Those are 2 guys that I would really like to go and play against and compete against. But I know there's so many good guards there in the PBA.
Right. Well, you mentioned your stint in the ABL, and that was a pretty significant stint. You won a championship. Of course, you won some personal awards there. Describe your stint in the ABL, Jason, and how significant was it in your career?
Yes, it's been some of the most fun basketball that I played in. I got to play with 3 different teams in the ABL, starting with Malaysia, playing with Matthew Wright, winning a championship, with Coach Ario. So I think that's, was the biggest accomplishment in the ABL. And then, getting to play with Manood Empire again, we made the finals playing against Alab. So, we had another really good year. We got to come to the Philippines and play in front of, some great crowds, going against, Ray Parks and Coach Jimmy and the great team that they had. And then in the past season, getting to represent Alab Filipinas. So getting to be in the Philippines and actually playing, for the Philippines fans. So I had a lot of great years in the ABL. Hopefully it will come back, sometime. But just a great opportunity for me. Since I'm not able to play in the PBA, it's just a great opportunity to play in the ABL. And I really just enjoyed the traveling. I think that was, awesome to go to different countries and play in front of, the fans in the different countries.
Well, talking about the traveling, that's one unique feature of the ABL, of course, visiting so many places, so many great cities. Do you have any particularly favorite places that you played in and enjoyed the crowds?
Well, I always love playing in the Philippines. I think the Philippines has had the best crowds, even in the ABL. But again, Thailand is probably my favorite place, that I've been. Just the living there, the beaches, and playing for Mano. I was there for 3 years, so I think Thailand is probably my favorite place.
Well, what about the players that you played against and you played with? Who do you remember as the players that you really enjoyed going up against, and also, of course, being teammates with?
Yeah, I think my first year, obviously playing with Matthew Wright, just a great connection. We had great chemistry together, and winning a championship. So it's always been those great memories. My first year, playing in Asia in the ABL, and then I think going up against Ray Parks and Alab Filipinas, going up against Coach Jimmy. Hearing so much about Jimmy when I was back in the States and people comparing me. I didn't get to play against him, but he was coaching while I was playing, so I thought that was really cool, and so I think those guys.
Well, many people continue to compare you to these players, and everybody's still hoping that they can see reasons for the comparison. But and talking about that, we know that you were not allowed to join the draft this year. So let me go straight to the point with the PBA. What is the situation of your papers with the PBA?
Yes, I'm just missing the recognition paper. That's I was denied when I went to immigration, a few years ago. We tried to, appeal it, but it has not been able to get solid. I've not been able to get the recognition paper to enter the PBA draft. So I think, hopefully either they can change the rule or allow me because, I have the Philippines passport. My mom was, born and raised here in the Philippines. I think there's some technicalities with the rules is, limiting me from getting into the draft.
Right. All right. Well, is there anything that can still produce, given the current rules, is there you can still produce so that you could be given those or exhausted all the, legal remedies that you have?
I'm not sure if there's any other documents or papers that I could present. I tried to give everything that I had. So right now, I'm just, trying to take this opportunity for the 3-on-3, enjoy, playing in this new PBA league. So I'm hoping that still I can one day get into the 5-on-5.
It must be very frustrating to know that you are Filipino, at least your mother is Filipino, was Filipino, and you have Filipino blood. And yet because of papers and certain processes as well as rules, you cannot play in, the league of your mother's homeland. Is that something that, you wish could be revisited by the PBA and in fact even by, those that could make a difference between you're playing or not in the PBA?
Yes. I would love for them to revisit the rules, at least go over them and if possible, change them and allow more of the, Filipino players to come to play in the PBA and make it, even more competitive league. I think it would be, fun for the fans. And, you'll get to see, other Filipino players that, have been, maybe grown up outside of the Philippines, but still have, Filipino blood.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing this all over the world. We're seeing the trend where many leagues in different countries are allowing players of different categories to play. We know that for a fact in Japan now, where a lot of young players from the Philippines are going as Asian imports. You talked about the ABL with their heritage imports. And obviously, that's something that you may one day fit in. And we are certainly hoping, of course, that you can also get that rule change as soon as possible. But again, you are now limited to 3x3 and you will be seen in the PBA playing 3x3 with the Meralco Bulls. First of all, your reaction to the offer to play 3x3 and why did you accept?
Yes. Well, first I was, a little surprised. I didn't know that, I would even be able to join the 3-on-3. But, seeing that it's, part of the PBA and, we're going to be playing in the same gym and I get to play again in front of the Philippines fans. I thought this is a great opportunity, a step closer to, playing in the 5-on-5. And also I thought the opportunity, to possibly play, for the 3-on-3 national team, represent and travel in the tournaments and get to represent the Philippines in the 3-on-3 was, a great opportunity, to play. I think it would be, awesome to represent the Philippines national team in the 3-on-3.
Have you had any experience on 3x3?
No professional experience. No, just
no
growing
formal
up
tournament experience,
yeah.
huh?
no formal experience, so it's a great challenge, something new, and I'm just looking forward to trying to figure out how to play and try to win, and I think it's going to be a great challenge.
When you look at 3x3 and of course 5-on-5, where do you see the difference, Jason? And how do you think will you be training for 3x3 that may be different from 5-on-5?
Yeah, I think it's a big difference. Being in the half court, you're not getting up and down. You're staying more, in the half court, and it's a quick, shot clock, only 12 seconds. And but I think there's a lot of space on the floor when you don't have 10 guys out there. You're only going to have six players, so there's going to be a lot of space. I think that I'm going to have to be aggressive to score. I think I'm excited also to show my scoring ability because I think with only 3 guys, it's less of running plays. I think it's going to be more of attacking and trying to find that advantage. And I think it's going to be physical too. I think it's going to be a more physical play. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to figure out ways to try to win and get better. And I think it can also help me in the 5-on-5, with my individual skills as well.
Oh, when you look at your own game, Jason, what do you think is the best part of your game that will fit the 3x3 tournament?
I think my leadership and my ability to control the game and get my team good shots. I think if we're getting good shots and we're under control and we play hard on defense, I think that would help our team. I think you're going to see more of my scoring ability, attacking, getting more space, and so that's what I'm excited about it. And I hope that we have a chance to win and can play well. But I'm just grateful for the opportunity to play in front of the fans and play in the 3-on-3.
Well, it's going to be a very interesting inaugural tournament for 3x3. There are many good names that are now being listed in the respective teams of the PBA. You're talking about Frankie Johnson, you're talking about Jeremiah Gray playing there, and many more who are in the rosters of the PBA teams, but have been, placed in the 3x3 team. What do you expect with your own Meralco team, Jason? How does it look with your own team in Meralco?
Yes, we haven't been able to have a official practice yet. I think we'll start in a few days. But I think the group that we have, we'll be able to compete and hopefully try to win as many games as we can. I think we have some good wings, some good bigs. So I'm just excited to go and practice with them and get some chemistry and compete against all these players. I think the other teams have released their rosters, so I think it's going to be tough. I think there's some really good players, and I'm just looking forward to seeing how these other players also adjust to the 3-on-3 and so I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be a lot of good teams.
The 3x3 is now as important as the 5-on-5, as you know, because it is now an Olympic event. And clearly, what the PBA is building and is trying to do is bolster our opportunity and our chances to make it to the Olympics one day. And as you know, the rules on eligibility of 3x3 is so much more different than 5-on-5. So is that part of the motivation, Jason, to hopefully one day step into the national team and maybe qualify for the Olympics?
Yes, definitely. I would love to play for the national team. If I get the opportunity to represent, it would be an amazing opportunity to play for the Philippines and try to qualify for the Olympics. I think if you get a really good group of guys and we really learn how to play and spend time committed to it. I think it's a possibility that we get guys that are really focused on the 3-on-3, and I think it was tough because I watched the Olympic qualifiers, and I don't think the guys had as much experience playing in the 3-on-3, and so I think with this new league, it's going to really help that for when the next qualifier comes, and I think this is going to really raise the level of play and gives more experience for the 3-on-3.
Let me ask you a little bit about something different. As I mentioned a while ago, there are many players now playing abroad. Doors have been opened for Filipino players, young college players going abroad. What are your thoughts about this? And do you think this is going to be good for not only the players but also for Philippine basketball, considering that you have made a career out of playing in various leagues all over the world?
Yes, I definitely think that it's going to raise the level of the Philippines basketball. I think it's going to also inspire the younger kids to play overseas and really be competitive and see more basketball. I think seeing Kiefer and a lot of these guys going to Japan. I think it's awesome opportunity. To go overseas and play and play against good competition and grow from there. I think they can, continue to get better. And I think it can help Philippines basketball a lot. It's going to help the PBA. It's going to help, the younger players that are watching. So I think it's going to inspire a lot of players to get better.
Well, before I let you go, Jason, I had an experience when I was commissioner of letting Alex Compton play in the PBA. He had appealed to the PBA so many times, and he finally found a way to make Alex Compton play, who does not have Filipino blood, but who is obviously very loyal to the Philippines. And we saw that in the PBA then as an opportunity to let someone experience how it is to play in the PBA. Jason, if you are asked now by the PBA, what would your case be in terms of convincing to finally make you play in the PBA?
I think I just have a passion to play here, and I had the opportunity to represent the country in tournaments and also in the ABL, and I'm just grateful to get the opportunity to play in this 3-on-3, and I'm hoping that eventually that they can see how committed I am to wanting to play in the PBA and to grow the game of basketball here in the Philippines.
Ang sentimiento ni Jason Brickman, ang ating pong nakapanayam. Sana nga, itong batang ito, napakagaling. One of the best passers in